And that brings us to our next award, which is the That Dude Award. And when you win the Heisman Trophy, you kind of are that dude. And again, this is an award that we came up with, this past summer. We were doing all our brainstorming, and it wasn't always about looking in the box score, and it wasn't always about that. And it was good because I remember when we had our discussion with Andy Staples about him, a few months ago on the show. It was like he's kind of a hard person to quantify. Travis Hunter. It's not always about the stat. Like not having defensive stats is a good thing for a guy who plays on every down. That means they're not coming at you. However, let's go through some of these accomplishments for him. Again, he's the second player to win the Heisman with having significant snaps on defense. The other one being Charles Woodson from Michigan. He's the first ever to win both the Biletnikoff for the best receiver and the Bednarik for the best defensive player in the same season. Period. Not even just the same season. Just the first to ever do it. He was the first player in the history of the Walter Camp Awards, 135 years, to be first team on both offense and defense. He was the 7th unanimous All-American in Colorado history. Back-to-back Horning Awards for the most versatile player. Shocker. But then if you actually look at the numbers, he had 15 receiving touchdowns, which is the second most in FBS, 96 catches, almost over 1,200 yards receiving. On defense, 4 interceptions, 11 pass breakups. He had that unbelievably clutch game-winning forced fumble in the Baylor game in overtime to win that game. And then to top all that off, he was also the academic All-American of the Year. I mean, I don't think that even got really as much acclaim as it should have. I mean, to be able to do all the things he did and still kill it on the books as well, like that is that dude. I mean,
yeah, it's really beautifully said. I can't help but think of the game 2 years ago against TCU and just the insane pick that he has to kick off his Colorado career. I mean, this is a young man who stole the headlines when he went to Jackson State as a top player in America. Then you're wondering, what's he going to be? I can remember going to Colorado during his first spring practice and watching him run around as a wideout because he wasn't doing DB stuff in the spring because he didn't really need to. And then he just watched him continue to grow and evolve. And I just am reminded of a moment in my early 20s. I used to sit just like this, but I was next to Pete Carroll. And I was in the USC recruiting meetings every Wednesday morning. Burritos get passed around, and I was running the clicker, and I had all the tape back to my right. And he was sitting next to me. And I don't know why he had me sit next to him. Well, I do now. I can get to that later. This is like a little Raider of theme, maybe, potentially for the show. And he would just continue to try to teach me different elements around evaluating. And the number one thing that I still hold true today is he goes, when it's close, he would say, if I was playing in the park, would I pick that guy or that guy? And I think when you look at all of these players that were up for that dude, and you just looked at look at who got votes in the Heisman, right? Cam Scatterbo won that a bunch of times. And there's so many players. Tetro McMillan, who would probably be the first receiver taken in the NFL draft. Like so many gifted players were that dude. But I still think no matter what, you take him if you were playing in the park. I just do. Like he just can do a little bit of everything. And I get that maybe he's not would I take him as a wideout over T-Mac? No. Would I take him as a DB over Caleb Downs? No. But when you look at all the versatility that he has and the level he's playing at consistently, and then you look at the game-changing plays. You referenced the Baylor one. I mean, are you kidding me? We're all watching that at 1 a.m. being like, down goes Colorado, and here they come on back. I mean, he just meets the moment. And I think what's been really fun, at least as a fan of the game, because we know Colorado, they kind of control the access around there to a large degree, is that as he won awards and got on bigger stage, you saw his personality really come out. And it wasn't just like on the gaming device. That's kind of, I feel like, all we got his first year, but it was in real sit-down interviews, whether it was he and Charles Woodson, and we saw that one before the UCF game this past season, whether it was the Heisman features that they did. We just seen him navigate at a really premium level. And that's what pros do. So I'm so looking forward to watching him continue to become a pro. It'll be fun to watch him get, discussed and dissected in advance of the NFL draft. But bottom line, he's probably the most complete athlete I think my eyes have ever seen in 25 years around college football. I'd imagine you would agree. He was just so special on so many levels. So on behalf of our founding partner 76 and us here at Y Option, that dude is that dude, Travis Hunter.